I'm ready to go. Let's go with Michelle McKinney Hammond.
So she is a best-selling author. Okay, she is a global speaker, Emmy Award-winning television co-host, vocalist, songwriter, producer, actress, and as you said, a relationship expert, a lifestyle architect, and a coach. She has traveled across the globe to speak on major platforms ranging from TD Jakes to Walmart Corporation. And what I love about Michelle is her mission is just to empower men and women to utilize the keys needed for discovering one's purpose, experiencing fulfilling relationships, and maximizing their potential in every area of life. So I have the pleasure of asking Michelle to turn her camera on and unmuting herself. And would you please welcome Michelle McKinney Hammond to the WorldShakers Society tonight?
Hello, how are you? Woo, woo!
You're always so phenomenal.
How's my brother from another mother doing today?
I am doing well. So Michelle, tell them where you're coming from tonight, because you've been moving across America for a moment here.
Yes, I am in Chicago and I'll be heading back to Ghana, West Africa tomorrow.
So one person just said in the chat, they got so excited to just see you, they almost crashed their car.
That's wonderful. Well, it's not wonderful you almost crashed your car. I'm glad that you're still intact, but thank you so much. That is wonderful.
And then Jennifer J. Lewis, who's part of our church, has said, oh my God, I love this woman. So just so you know, you are a phenom, a young phenom, been at it for a long time, anywhere from helping to host the 700 Club, to working with Roma Downey Jr., to being on so many talk shows, secular talk shows, and writing books, acting, directing, producing, and then singing.
Yes!
I mean, listen, God knew better than to give Tim Storey a voice. It would have been scary had I been able to sing well. That would have been scary.
Well, you know, it keeps me in worship mode. You know, it keeps me behaving myself, really. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm walking through a musical all the time because there's always music in my head, Tim. Forever. I mean, people say things and it prompts a song, you know. I mean, there's a soundtrack playing in my head all the time.
Yes. So, no, but I really am sincere because the fact that you're funny, your humor is next level. Then you're beautiful, you're stylish. We'll talk a little bit tonight about your fashion line.
Okay.
And then you are one of the best speakers in the world, not just female, male and female. One of the best in the world, not in a country.
Coming from you, that's huge, Tim.
Oh, phenomenal. I mean, you were just with our good friend, John Jenkins. You were just with Bishop Bronner. You're always with TD Jakes. You're always with me. Believe me, she's one of the best. But I will say this about you as a single woman. I always notice you're around fine-looking gentlemen. And that's including me.
Exactly. You know, it's so funny when I got off the phone talking to you, Tim, and my mom says, you have a lot of male friends. How many men have you spoken to today? I said, you know, I never really thought about it. Maybe that's why I don't have a man void as a single person. I have a lot of great men in my life. And I mean, I really feel honored, the men that are in my life. They are like huge people that are just have big hearts, and they're men of integrity, and they're smart, and they're witty, and they're funny. And you know what? They all spoil me. And that's the part I like the best.
Exactly. Because we treat you like the queen that you are.
Yes, you do.
No, you are a queen. She lives in a big old house. It's very mansion-like. And then you have some pets. What kind of pets do you have?
I have Shih Tzus. I told Darius Daniels, I was listening to one of his sermons, and he was talking about how bad his dog was. So I sent him a text and I said, Darius, you need to get Shih Tzus, because Shih Tzus are the closest to human beings you will ever get in a dog. And they are obedient and very laid back. And, you know, they all think they're divas and people anyway. So I have,
you know what? Shih Tzus, when when my kids were little, we had Shih Tzus, two of them, and they really do have a way about them.
Yeah, they're like little people. I have three. I have Simba, Coco, and Layla. And they have very distinct personalities. They know what they like, what they don't like. They have their own habits. And if you say that they're a dog in front of them, they kind of cock their head like, what you talking about, Willis?
Yes. So listen, Paul Lambert is on. Can you say hello to Paul?
I love you, Paul. I miss you. Paul and I had the best tea in New York. That was before COVID. But, you know, I absolutely adore Paul.
I won't say the play he's working on, but you do know he's working on a legendary play right now.
Do I have a part in it? That's all I need to know.
So you need to text each other, but Paul's an amazing producer of Broadway plays and other plays, and he's working on an amazing play. Actually, I can say it because it was in page 6 on the New York Post.
Wow.
He is the producer for the Four Tops play.
Oh,
that's big.
Oh, that's big. That's musical. That's fabulous. I love stuff like that.
I mean, there's gotta be like a role of a wife in there.
Why not?
Like a disgruntled wife.
I'm playing a lot of wives lately, Tim. I'm doing 3 soap operas as well as a reality show in Ghana right now.
Yeah, so let's go there for a second. Is that in the midst of all that you're doing, writing all these books, how many books now have you written?
I've written 42 books.
Okay, 42. I've only have 10. 42 books. Any idea how many countries you've been to?
Oh, I don't know. I stopped counting.
Okay, all right. So it's
Not
a lot.
as many as you, Tim. So you have to take me on some of your trips.
Hey, any idea how many serious men you dated? No, I'm serious.
Oh Lord, now we ain't gonna talk about that now. Now you know we ain't going down that road. That opens up a whole can of worms.
Okay. But a lot of celebrity men, but we won't get into it, Denzel.
Yeah.
But so anyway, all right. So with all the things that you do, you are acting in Ghana, but people need to know the Ghana connection because some people do not know why you're in Ghana, Africa. Can you please tell them?
Well, my dad is Ghanaian. He went home to be with the Lord in 2010 and left all this stuff for me to take care of. And I was flying back and forth and I just got so worn out. I just kind of crashed and burned and said, I could as well move there. So I have been there for 10 years now. And you know, Tim, it's so interesting to me because before I left to move to Ghana, Eric Tenenbaum, who we know is the producer of 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory, was diligently trying to get me a show. We went to Telepictures, we went to OWN, we went everywhere. And I was always, you know, like right on the precipice of getting that show and then poof, crickets. And so, you know, I ended up moving and I was sitting down and I was saying, you know, talking about miracle mindset.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, God, what happened to all those TV dreams I had? You told me I was going to be, you know, on screen. What happened? Now I'm sitting in Ghana. How is that going to happen in Ghana? And about 15 minutes later, Tim, my housekeeper came upstairs and said someone was downstairs to see me. And when I went, it was a production company. They wanted to rent my house for a movie. I thought, oh, cute idea. So I let them rent the house for the movie. And all these big movie stars, African movie stars, ended up in my house. And then they looked at me and said, we have this role. Do you think you could do it? And I said, sure I can. So, you know, it was all of 5 minutes, but it blew me out into being famous because the movie ended up being this huge movie in Africa. And even people in America were watching it. It was called Single and Married. It had all the top African actors and actresses in it. And after that, they started calling me. So I did this next movie, Tim, and I told my girlfriend, Amake Ebebrese, who's like Africa's Cicely Tyson. She did all those deep kind of things, you know. I said, I'm in this movie and they're premiering it. Let's go see the movie, you know, because I was always gone speaking whenever they premiered anything else I was in. So we go to the movie and we're sitting there watching it. And we come out of the movie and Amma looks at me and goes, so you were in a movie? I said, yeah. She said, Michelle, do you realize that you starred in the movie? I was like,
Okay, but I find that funny because knowing you so well, you are moving in the middle of so many projects that I could see that you didn't know what you were up to.
no, I just showed up, taped it, I was gone. I didn't even think about it.
I mean, even your music projects have been next level. We'll talk a little bit in a few moments about your university that you're launching. Yeah. We got our mutual friend, John Jenkins, who's got one of the greatest churches in the world.
Oh, he does.
Come on, everybody loves Michelle McKinney Hammond. So you know I'm a pretty good talk show host, right? So I'm gonna take you down a few avenues that some people wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
Okay, so number one, you do believe that people have a plan that is predestined for them. You teach a lot about this.
Yes.
And so people have a plan. And then also you have that plan, but you're also going to go through problems on your way to that plan. So there's going to be the plan, the problems are just going to happen. That's part of life. Okay. Mm-hmm. But you're really, really phenomenal about the power of partnership.
Yes.
About partnering with the right people, okay, as you are on your way to your plan. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to get into that. And then I want to get into partnering with the right people in the area of relationships, okay? Okay. So let's talk about this idea of becoming a better person. Talk to me a little bit about that. Could be some ideas from one of your books, or, you know, a lot of people are into self-help development. Mm-hmm. Why is it important for us to try to better ourselves as people?
Well, I believe in evolution, not in the scientific sense, but in the internal sense.
Okay.
I believe that when we were created, God had this great idea about who we would be. So he never sees us as we are, as we're. Okay. He sees us as the final picture. Oh, that person's going to be magnificent, right? And so we're evolving to that point. We don't start off there. And all those things, Tim, that come along, those challenges, those trials, those things that cause us great pain are actually our friends, because they push the buttons in us. They reveal what's in us. They reveal what we haven't surrendered. They reveal the things that we need to pay attention to. They reveal the things that we need to develop. Sometimes they even redirect us. I am huge on position. As I just shared with you, I had been working on being in film in America for years. And I come all the way to Ghana, where that was the last thing on my mind. And now I'm getting roles that I don't even audition for. And wow. So I know that position has a lot to do with our plan being unfolded too. You know, there's a story about a guy who went off, in search of a land. He didn't even know where he was going. He was told to go, and he decided to take a friend with him, a cousin with him.
Oh, yeah.
And it brought on some problems, so they had to separate. And I find it interesting that he did not get clarity of vision until he separated from that person. So the right alignment and the wrong alignment has everything to do with our position, so that we accomplish that plan. So we have to really consider the people in our lives. Do they feed us? Do they add life? Do they empower us? Do they make you better than you already are on your own? If they're draining the life from you and causing drama and trauma all the time, it's best to put distance between yourself with that person and look at the ones that are really feeding you, challenging you. You know, sometimes, Tim, they might not even like what you say. You might not like something they say to you, but they're pushing you. They're challenging you. They're stretching you. They're helping you evolve into the person that you were created to be in the first place. And the plan is ever unfolding.
I like what you're saying, and you're being very kind to a lot of my followers who are not people who follow the Bible. Mm-hmm. But you're talking about Genesis chapter 12, mm-hmm. where God says to Abram, go, leave your family, and you're going to be a blessing. Mm-hmm. But for over 20 years, his life unravels.
Yes.
Took his nephew Lot with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and Lot caused a lot of problems, Tim.
I like that. So Lot caused a lot of problems because his mindset, Lot's, and motives were different than Abram's.
Yes.
And as I was doing some research on this over the last many, many years, I believe Abram felt sorry for Lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing that Lot did not feel sorry for Abram.
Right.
He tried to one-up him.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go there for a minute, because I feel that a lot of times you can have the right plan, but if you choose the wrong partners and you got lots in your life will unravel. And many times it's because we feel sorry for people. We think that they're supposed to go on the journey. Can you address that a little bit?
Yeah, and I always say that anytime you feel you have to rescue someone, you end up needing to be rescued from that person.
Yes.
You've got to really understand and put in the proper file. Is this person a partner or a project?
Wow.
When you're trying to go somewhere, you don't need projects. You need partners. You need enablers. You need people who are actually better than you, so that they pull you up. They make you step up. They stretch you. They educate you. When you look at groups of people who are successful, if you ever notice, I mean, Tim, because you know a lot of rich folk. You know more rich folk than I do. But rich folk hang out with rich folk. What do rich folk talk about? How to get richer.
You know what?
Yes.
That's the truth.
It's true.
If one of their crazy cousins comes in, they're there for about 15 minutes and that's it.
And that's it, So they're very focused on who they allow to have access to them and who they allow to even be in their space. Because all of that is energy, Tim. When people get together who are doing things, it's like an impartation. Something happens in the center of that group. Like when I hang out with you for a while, I notice that my prophetic clicks in. My creative clicks in. And you haven't even said anything yet, but it's simply spirit to spirit. There's something that happens. It ignites something within us. And so you've got to look for those people. You and I both did a message once called Find Your Naomi.
Oh, yeah.
I was writing the book and I came in and you were preaching the sermon. I said, that man took my notes. Where did he get my notes from? But, you need those people that say, hey, it's time to do this. And this is how you do it, and they break it down and they supervise you to make sure that you do it. I'm really excited because I have a niece that is a budding artist. And I met Leroy Campbell, the amazing.
Oh, yeah.
He's amazing. And, we were just talking and I had taken him shopping in Ghana and he'd gotten fabric there. And he came back and did his whole new collection with Ghanaian fabric in it. And he said, I've got a painting just for you out of this collection. I was so excited. But while I was there, I shared some paintings that my niece had done. And he said, she's amazing. I want to mentor her. And I thought he was just being nice. But do you know that the next day he had already called her and given her her first assignment?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that? I'm just saying that, yes, Shura says that synergy is a spiritual practice. Synergy is something that happens when spirits of like mind. You said something. You said that Lot's motives for going on the trip were different from Abraham's motive for going on the trip. And so when you've got people walking together that don't value the same thing, who aren't motivated by the same thing, there's always going to be a tension and a chaos until you separate from that person and walk with like mind. So it says that evil companions corrupt good manners. They might not be evil in the sense of being evil, but it's evil if they're pulling you off track of your purpose and your destiny.
Okay, so let's bring it to today's time. 2021, we're coming up to the end of June. And we've been going through this pandemic, never seen anything like this before. Worldwide lockdown, literally worldwide lockdown. Now things released here and there. I think that when that happens, that we would both agree that you really have to get clarity. You have to get focused And you have to really take inventory about the plan and the purpose for your life.
Yes.
But also the partners you have. So let me just revisit this idea because I took notes. Who's your partner and who is your project?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that a lot of people, they date projects.
Yes.
And a lot of people marry projects.
Or potential.
Or potential. Okay, go there for a minute because you have written some amazing books, and maybe give me one or two titles of books you've written on relationships.
Secrets of an Irresistible Woman. What Women Don't Know and Men Don't Tell You.
Wow.
101 Ways to Get and Keep His Attention. Because, you know, it's one thing to get it. You got to keep it after that. Secrets from a Man's Heart. And What to Do Until Love Finds You. What else? Oh, there's so many of them. Okay,
but we're gonna do, you know how much Joseph loves you. So we're gonna put all your details nonstop. He's doing it already. Okay. This is gonna be like a Michelle McKinney Hammond infomercial. Believe me, you're gonna be happy. But you're so good at this. So talk to me about this idea of women. Let's go women for a second. Mm-hmm. Going after the wounded bird. I'm going to heal him.
Yeah.
And you get in a relationship with a project. Talk to me about that.
Well, you usually end up becoming the project because the project doesn't know that he's a project. And so what he does is he starts pulling you down to his level, and then you become the project.
Wow.
Yes. So we've got to be very careful about that. You know, if you want to have a project, don't let the project be a consideration for a partner until they've stepped in and stepped up into that place of consideration. I think that a lot of times women, because they're natural nurturers, always think that they can mend a broken bird. But sometimes the broken bird doesn't know it's a broken bird. Sometimes the broken bird likes being a broken bird. Sometimes the broken bird just wants you to join them in being broken. They don't want to take the responsibility for ever flying, you know, so there's different degrees, and we have to be able to get a sense, you know. I love that story when Jesus walked up to the guy lying there for 38 years and says, well, do you want to be whole? It's like, are you interested? Because, dude, you've been laying here for 38 years. And you know what, Tim? I thought, now, wait a minute. This man had to go to the bathroom. He had to eat. He moved sometime. He just didn't move at the right time because he had settled in with the blind, the lame, the halt, and the paralyzed. And he decided that was the way life was going to be.
People are loving you.
Huh?
If you love what she's doing, say amen in the chat. I said, people are loving you because you are like an anointed Wanda Sykes.
Love Wanda. I wish I was as brilliant as Wanda.
Wanda is brilliant. I'm telling you.
She is brilliant.
But let's go down this road again. This partner versus project, and because you think through the eyes of a queen, of a lady, you said something interesting that I don't think about as a man. Mm-hmm. You talked about the nurturing nature of a woman, that it's almost easier for them to tend to look for a fixer-upper because they think, I can fix him.
And it makes you feel powerful. Okay, so can I get real here? Because I've had some of those projects, Tim. I have made several men very wealthy. And guess what they did? They built houses for other women. That's what they did.
Okay, that's deep.
Yeah. Now they might regret it later and say, "Oh, I should have had a V8. I should have married Michelle." But by then it's too late. Okay.
I gotta tell the viewers, because Michelle has always got a lot of attention. People love her. She's beautiful. She's one of the best dressers you ever meet. She's classy, and she's got a lot of money. So you would date men at a real high level, but I like what you just said, that you would give to them, and those fools would do what?
They build houses for other women. Why? because they didn't feel good about themselves. And you know what? Here's the mistake we all make, Tim. We try to make other people feel good about themselves, and it's not our job. They have to do that work internally. I think too that there's a sense of power. I think that some people like the power of making other people, but other people resent being made, and we need to know that.
Okay, you're exactly right. Other people, take notes on this, resent being made.
Yes.
There is no doubt about it. And I see that even with like some of these athletes, okay? And if you notice something, that if it's draft day, like in the NBA, you'll see like a young brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he usually has his mama, his father's missing somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
His grandma may be there, but his current girlfriend is just holding on for dear life, trying to be a part of that $10 million contract, okay?
Yes.
And I'm trying to tell you, 99 out of 100 times, that woman is not going to stay there.
She's not.
Mm-mm.
Because no one wants a reminder of when they didn't have it all together. We get convenient amnesia about our broken times when we become successful. We just want to remember the good part. When we gonna get to the good part, baby? And when I get there, I don't want to be reminded of what it used to look like. I remember the days, Tim, when, going to Kmart and buying a pair of pants was the big thing to do. And then I moved to Chicago and discovered Henry Bendel's and Bloomingdale's and Marshall Field. I couldn't go back to Kmart. And I wasn't going to hang out with anybody who went to Kmart.
Yes. Okay, so both of us, because we've been traveling forever, we've seen so many of our friends that break up. Mm-hmm. Even some couples that looked amazing that break up, but we don't really know like the details of what takes place.
Right.
And so help people with this idea on how it's better to be patient.
Yes.
Than to just rush into something, because breakup hurts.
Yeah. And some people never recover from breakup. I always say that the right person at the right time is better than the right person at the wrong time, or the wrong person anytime.
Ooh.
Because there's a time for everything. This we know. And I think that the best time for a relationship is when you are completely happy alone.
That's where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's when you're whole. That's when you have discernment, because desperation diminishes discernment.
Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Wait, because you're so good. You're like Maya Angelou, just spitting out amazing poems right now. You just said desperation diminishes discernment.
Yes.
Wow. So if let's put it on a man for a minute. If a man says, okay, my family's putting pressure on me, I need to find the right woman and have children by this time.
Yeah.
His desperation will diminish his discernment.
Yes. And here's the other mistake he'll make. He now makes marriage the goal.
Okay.
Marriage should not be the goal. Marriage is something that is inspired by you meeting someone who adds to you, who benefits your assignment in life and is good for your soul. So you've got to stop, and that's going to take time to figure that out. You're going to have to walk with that person. You're going to have to talk with that person. You're going to have to be friends with that person.
Wow.
Isn't it interesting, Tim, that we meet someone and we go, ooh, yeah, mate material. Yeah. What do you know about that person? You don't know anything about that person. You know, chemistry, chemicals. Guess what? Have you ever watched those science movies when they pour the stuff in the what do they call those things? The snifter, and it goes, and then 2 minutes later, what happens? It's flat. So that's chemistry. Chemistry is fabulous for a moment. Even oxytocin, the chemical that's released when we're in love, it only lasts a year. After that, you've got to have decided that you're committed to your commitment, because you're not going to feel in love every day. And if you're not in like, you're going to be in trouble. If you don't love, you're going to be in trouble. In love is the third component. It's not the first component. And it takes time for all of these to be developed. We don't become one when we say I do. It is a process. It is a journey. And the only way that that journey becomes a smooth ride is if the values that we have are the same, if our beliefs are in alignment, and these two things are compelling us forward. And I just realized one day that I'm better with this person in my life, and I need to stop and take a look at that. Until you get there, marriage shouldn't even be a thought in your mind. What are the qualifiers? You know, it's like putting a 2-year-old behind the wheel of a Bentley. It's gonna crash.
Oh, good. Okay, let me take you there for a minute. So we talked about having the right plan.
Mm-hmm.
You're amazing at developing the person.
Mm-hmm.
And so you actually have a university.
Yes.
That created to develop us as the person. Tell us a little about that.
Love You Masterclass is literally a relationship university.
Okay.
And Tim, you know, the first month, I don't even talk about relationships. It's what about you? Who are you? Who are you not? What are you? What are you not? What are you about? Why are you here? Why are you sucking up air?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you taking up space? Are you using it properly? And then once we get you whole, then we start breaking down the relationship stuff, because I find that people make the relationship the goal, but they don't do the work on themselves to be ready for the relationship.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay.
And you know what's so funny, Tim? I've done one semester and I just started the second semester, and all the first semester people are taking the class all over again because they said that was so deep. I couldn't answer half the questions. I need to do it.
Everybody again. So good. People are saying, I've done the university already. So how can they find out more? Joseph's been posting things, but from your angle, how can they find out more? He just put something up just now.
If they go to my website at michellehammond.com, they can sign up to be on the email list, and they will get information about the university. Even if they send me, they can DM me even on IG, you know, and say, I want to know more about the university, and we will send them information about that. But Tim, you know, it's so important for us to be whole.
Yes.
You know, and I think that a lot of the things that we battle with in relationships is based on our brokenness. And we fail to embrace it. So therefore, we don't address it. And if we don't address it, we can't fix it. And you know what? Here's the thing. There's no shame in being broken, because guess what? Everybody's broken. I
so agree.
You know, everybody's got bags. Now, y'all have different size bags. Some of them might be overweight, but be willing to unpack them, you know? And when you find a person who's willing to help you unpack, that is a person worthy of your consideration, you know? But I think that a lot of times we make marriage the goal and we ignore the flags. We ignore the things that we should be looking at. And we just jump in. It's like jumping into a pool and not checking to see if there's water there. How can you decide you want to marry someone that you don't know? You don't have enough information. I always say dating is not for mating, it's for collecting data.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so we're talking about being the right person with the right plan. Then you have to connect to the right partners. So we've talked a little bit about partners in relationship. Let's talk about partners as far as in business deals, people that we let into what I call our inner green room. Because me and you are so close, I know this about both of us. We're very, very careful and very particular about who we let into our green room.
Yes.
Very, very particular. And for me, part of it is because I've been hurt by people I felt sorry for, that I try to bring into my green room, and they had wrong motives and mindset.
Right.
But can you tell the people why it's so important for them to watch out who they bring into their inner circle?
Well, it goes back again to what do you value?
Okay.
And what's the agenda? You know, if your agenda is about saving naked natives in Papua New Guinea, and the other person is about just wanting to make a ton of money, guess what? That business is going to crash and burn, baby. It's not going.
That was so funny.
So let's make sure that we're on the same page about what we want to accomplish, who our audience is, who we want to reach, what we want to do for those people. Why are you in the room? You know, because I've been in a lot of green rooms.
Yes.
Some people are there to connect. Yeah, some people are there to connect for business. Some people are there just looky-loo. They just want to see. They don't have anything to contribute. They brought nothing to the party. They just want to see what they can get out of the experience.
Okay, so let me have some fun with Michelle McKinney Hammond. So I'm going to say Michelle in her 20s, Michelle in her 30s, and Michelle in her 40s. In your 20s, and of course it's a generalization because from 21 to 29, you change a lot.
Yeah.
But let's do decades.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of man were you usually attracted to in your early 20s? Let's say that.
Well, I was in advertising. I was working for Burrell Communications, which is the largest Black agency in the country.
Gigantic, y'all, just so you know.
I was an art director, copywriter, producer. I was doing voiceovers on jingles and flying all over the country doing Coca-Cola commercials and McDonald's. And so I met the finest of the fine. You know that the Bridgerton guy? All my boyfriends look like that guy in Bridgerton.
I know that. I know that's right.
They were all foin, not fine, foin.
Okay, so in your early 20s, you went more for the fine brother.
Yes.
Okay, early 30s.
Pretty houses with no one home.
Okay, early 30s. Then what happened? What kind of man were you looking for?
30s, I don't know if I had grown up yet, Tim. I think I was still in the fine category because my whole thing was, if you're going to hurt me, at least let me enjoy the view.
This is too good.
Said, at least let me enjoy looking at you if you're gonna hurt me. That was where my brain was.
This,
I already decided you were gonna hurt me. See, that mindset had to be shifted.
People are loving this. Okay. So early 40s, and then we're gonna stop there. Early 40s. I hope you matured a little bit by then, Michelle.
Yes, I did. I started liking very interesting kind of quirky people because I began being very fascinated with men's minds. I started.
Ooh, me and you are like that because you know me enough that people think that I'm just gonna look at the outside. Mm-hmm. I'm fascinated with unusual people.
Yes.
I love mindset. I like the quirky. Mm-hmm. I love the creative.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I loved people who were creative, who, like to have provocative conversations, who were just brilliant. I just thought brilliance was just sexy. Brilliance became the new sex.
Oh, ain't teasing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I'm still there. I like men who love God and can really talk about it in a relevant way. I don't like religious people. I can't stand that. That's a big turnoff for me. But when you have a genuine, authentic relationship with God and you can tell me something deep about him, oh, that just curls my toes. I'm telling you, if you can break down the scripture and get me to talking about it for an hour, I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh, people love people.
Or if I see you, if I see a man who really likes himself and is enjoying his life and is just secure in who he is, and he's just comfortable in his maleness, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it any other way, but he's just who he is, and he's cool with himself. I find that very, very sexy now.
Okay, so this is gonna be fun, and then we're gonna move on to topics. Okay. So what if a brother is nice looking, smart, but he's got a few standout issues? Okay. Because don't forget, there was a woman with an issue of blood, which means a standout issue. So let's say he snores. I'm gonna give you the standout issue. Let me write. Just stick with me.
We're gonna get him one of them things you put in your nostrils. That's
Okay. Number one, he snores. Okay. Number two, he doesn't pick up after himself like he should.
Oof.
Okay. And number three, he's a mama's boy.
Oh, the last one is a deal breaker.
So what are you gonna do? But come on, you can't just toss this brother. Maybe you could educate him.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I had a boyfriend that was a mama's boy. Okay. And his mother was a little interesting. Every time he came to visit me, she would have some emergency and call him, and he would have to jump up and go home.
Oh.
After about the third time, I looked at him and I said, today you make a choice. If you leave here, don't come back.
Yeah.
And he sat back down. So I have to say that when it comes to issues,
yes,
is the person willing to face and embrace the issue? Are they willing to own it? Are they willing to say, yes, I need to work on that? That's big. Then I know if I can move forward with them. And then in other cases, you've got to pick your battles. You've got to weigh what the good is versus the bad. If he's an amazing person who's sensitive, considerate, loving, has a servant's heart, but he doesn't pick up after himself, I'm going to opt for those three positives over here and kind of just, is it really going to hurt me to pick up and put away what he dropped on the floor? No, not really. It just makes me have more of a servant heart in that area.
I like how you think. And I was telling a friend of mine that I dated somebody many, many years ago, and I think they probably had a clean freak problem. I forget what they call that, OCD or something.
OCD, yeah.
But this woman would just pick up if I'm just left something barely. But I really liked the feeling of having things even more clean than I was. And it actually really did change me. She didn't scold me.
Right.
But she left an example that made me want to change. Okay?
Exactly. So I think you've got to pick your battles there. Somebody said, I love a mama's boy because he has the right heart. It depends on the degree of the mama's boy, because yes, a man who treats his mother well will treat you well. But if it's over the top where, he's her surrogate husband, then that's not healthy. Okay.
So we're going to end the last 10 minutes on a subject, and then I'm going to have you talk a little bit about a book they can buy from you, course or something. But I want to deal with this idea of being authentic, okay? Because me and you have been around so long that this has now become a big trend, and I think some folks are going way too far.
Yeah.
And let me give an example. It would be like something like this, like, I know you all have not seen me on Instagram lately, because I have been going through a difficult time. Okay. And I'm thinking, listen, I didn't even miss you, and I didn't even notice you were gone. And so what has happened, I'm just being authentic right now. Okay. There is too much of this going on. Now, I'll tell you another thing. In the church, because we were both raised in the church, the testimony times would sometimes get too authentic. Where people would just say things that were too personal and too real and too open. Now, we both believe in revealing certain things that could help people find their way. You reveal some things about your pain, of your childhood, your past, etc., as do I. Okay, we've discussed this. We've done so many projects together over all these years. But please tell people why it's important that only a fool tells his whole heart. You cannot go out there and put all your stuff out in the street.
It's true. Well, I'll put it to you this way. Love covers a multitude of sins. Life
Wow.
does not. So, there are some things that need to remain within safe company. And you need to know who your safe is. You need to know.
Oh, good. Safe company.
Yeah, safe company. And
I'm
you
writing
need
that-
to know who that is. It's not the world, it's not Instagram, it's not Facebook. I have a tendency, like I actually like my parents were having some health challenges, and I see people putting that on Instagram all the time. Please pray for so and so. Those people don't care. You know, I mean, you have the power of prayer. Just pray for your parents. I mean, and move on. Don't put them out there like that.
Yeah. I so agree.
If you had a 10-carat diamond ring, Tim, would you just leave it sitting in the living room if strangers were coming over and you knew it? Because you'd be afraid somebody would steal it. So the things that are precious, we keep them in a safe place.
Oh, that's so
that
powerful.
People set themselves up to be wounded and spit on by people who don't care. Don't cast your pearls before the swine. It says they'll turn around and run over you and stomp on the pearls because they don't even know that they're precious, So the thing is, I know who to call with certain things in my life. I'm not going to be on Instagram,
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have some fun. Tell the people why me and you enjoy talking to each other. Like, from your woman's vantage point, why do me and you enjoy talking to each other?
Okay, so then this requires a little backstory, So this friend of mine, you all, this is a secret. This one.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't
and
tell
just got about 7 minutes left.
Yeah, okay. This friend of mine used to say, you have got to meet Tim Storey. The two of you are just alike. You're like a female Tim Storey. I was like, who the heck is Tim Storey? And then the day I walked in, he was preaching a sermon. I had written a chapter on that afternoon, and I was like, that's crazy. That just doesn't even happen. And so, there are just people that connect in the spirit because they've got the same spirit.
Wow.
And I think that's why because we just go back and forth. And Tim is
we adore each other. We're protective of each other.
Yes.
We care about each other. We prosper each other.
Yes, and we encourage each other and stretch each other too. Because I will get on Tim's case about some stuff, and he will get on mine. He'll say, "Why are you doing that, Michelle? Where is that going?" And I'll be like, And you've got to have people in your life that stimulate you, that challenge you, that correct you, that provoke you, seriously, you can't have yes people in your life. If you've got yes people in your life, it's a very dangerous existence. You have to have those people that are authentic, that are genuine, that are transparent, that hold you accountable, because we don't do that well on our own. And so it's really important. We're back to partnership, Tim.
Yes.
It's not just romantic partnership. It's platonic partnership. It's business partnership. It's even in your family. You don't get to pick your family, but you do get to pick how you communicate with them and how you respond to them, so that you're building relationship skills, even with those that are unlovely or difficult to love.
Okay, I'm loving. I think this is one of my favorite interviews in the last year and a half.
Aww.
And I got to interview everybody. So Michelle, tell me this in closing. How can people work with you, connect with you? And people want to connect, they want to work with you, they want to follow you. Joseph just put some information up, but tell them how they can do it.
They can always send an email to admin@michellehammond.com. That's the quickest way to get to me. Okay. admin@michellehammond.com, or DM me on IG. We have people that we have staff that follows up on all those calls. And you can go to my website, get on the email list so that you know what's going on all the time. We do not harass people and send out a bunch of email, but when something of importance is going on, of significance, we let you know about it first.
Okay, I love it. So did you enjoy yourself tonight?
I always love talking to you, you know, because honey, let me tell you, Tim have you on a timer. You know why? And that's something, okay, I fuss about it all the time, Tim, but you know what, one of the biggest lessons you've ever taught me is the value of time. You get a lot done, and it's because you don't waste time. You're very time savvy, and that is a big influence in my life. I love you, man.
That says a lot. And listen, you are at the top of your game. You're doing nothing but just getting stronger, better. And if you have a conference, a lot of you that are watching, you have these big mega conferences, invite her. She is one of the best speakers in the world, male or female. So invite her. All the information is there. Michelle McKinney Hammond, you look gorgeous. I'm so proud of you. That was fantastic tonight. Thanks for being on WorldShakers Society.
Thank you for having me. Love you guys.
We love you.